Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good. That is good.
Hello, welcome to Wild Warrior. This is a battle report. It's going to be my Dwarves versus Orcs and Goblins. Models will be familiar to you since they're all mine. Want to just get some more practice with running this gunline list, and I think the majority of the problems I'm going to have are against horde type armies. So here's my deployment. It's got my Iron Drakes, a gyrocopter, got my organ gun there. It's entrenched thanks to Grim Burlickson. Got the special character there, my 40 Thunders with the 2 other characters in there. This time I'm going with a flame cannon. I'm going to try out a flame cannon, see what it can do. I like the rules with the rune of forging on it. It helps out. It's also got a rune of fire, which is kind of cheesy, but it's the only way I can take 2 runes. I didn't want flaming on the cannon. And then I've got some hammers there to kind of hold the flank, and a proxy gyro in the back. I do have a new gyrocopter model that I'm putting together. Actually, I got it put together. I just need to get it painted. Didn't have it enough put together, but when I made it when we did this battle. So that's my army. I'm going against as an overview. Again, I'm kind of deploying in the center, and the reason I'm doing that, since I'm practicing for tournaments. A lot of tournaments have objectives in the middle of the game board, so I want to try to practice with them in a setting where I may, as if I have to move out. Yeah, it's kind of dumb, but that's what I'm doing. Here's the Orcs and Goblins. We got Wolf Riders on the far left. Got the 25 Black Orcs behind a Mangler Squig there. 20 Night Goblins, 2 Fanatics, 40 Night Goblins, kind of shielding the 40 Savage Orc Biggins. In there's the Shaman and the Black Orc BSB. And then there's some more Night Goblins. Wow, I'm going to go through the whole list again. Yeah, there's the what I just said, basically. The Black Orcs are kind of tough. I kind of thought about getting into that building on the left there, either switching the Iron Drakes and put the hammers on the other side, but yeah, I didn't. The Black Orcs can fight their way through that building. The Iron Drakes would be actually better in there, because they could stand and shoot every turn that they get charged. The hammers, I think, would lose, as I'd always strike last, and the Black Orcs would be +1 on the charge every time with their strength. So. But yeah, there's the biggins. Normally deploying behind another unit's not good, but against a gun line, it might provide enough bodies to die. And orcs don't care if goblins would break or flee through them or get destroyed to the last man. So then there's the 20 Night Goblins there. That rock lobber in the back is a proxy Doom Diver. There's 2 Doom Divers in this list. Another Mangler Squig. And then over kind of rounding out the right side of the battlefield is the rest of the stuff, and that's 2 Goblin Chariots, and they're deployed sideways to try to avoid cannonballs. But you know, that's really against. See, Dwarves normally, you know, are there. You don't have to worry about them turn 1, but I do have a few vanguard units, so that's kind of turns out to be poor deployment, as you'll see. Trying to just avoid the cannonball frontage. Although probably not a lot of risk. So there's my gun line. Looking pretty stout. One thing about Dwarves, you know, they'll usually fight to the last man, but you don't have very many units when you take all these war machines. So let's see how I do. And there's just a quick view of the orc lines, getting ready to kick things off. So first we go vanguards, and Dwarf actually wins a roll to vanguard. So I vanguard my chopper up to that point there, and that kind of keeps keeps the wolf chariot or the wolves from being able to go. And then they vanguard there on the left side, and then I vanguard my iron drakes out to about 21 inches. That way I can move 3 inches and still fire. If I happen to lose the first turn, I'm a little farther away. The gyro could lose first turn. That's actually after the move. So here's the spells: gaze, fist, hand, and foot. Didn't get here we go, which I'm glad to see. The foot and the hand, other than here we go, are the ones that are dangerous. So dwarves win first turn and start off by putting a cannonball about 6 inches short. So that's not a good start. I was hoping to eliminate a mangler squig right off the bat. And then the flame cannon, and put it out 12 inches and then roll a 2, and so it drops short, so that's not good. And then yeah, the copter had vanguarded and then it moved to that point. That's as far as it could go, and so I couldn't get a full template shot, but I could get it over 4, and getting it over 4 is enough to kill, I believe, 2, and that will cause a panic check. And since it's a panic check, they fail and they start to flee. They head towards the edge of the board. And that's where you can see the chariots are not in a good spot to do any counter charging. They're facing the wrong way. So forget that copters and stuff can vanguard. This is my extra range that I roll with my special character. I got an extra 8 inches. So I'm able to fire my thunderers without actually moving. It's kind of nice. So I decide to pick on the Night Goblin unit on the right, and I'm able to plink off 5 with my rifles. I'm just trying to eliminate a unit, and also thinking I might be able to make that big block of Night Goblins panic. I know the general's right behind him in a BSB, but be a leadership 8 reroll, and maybe the Doom Diver might panic if I could kill him. So then my organ gun puts into him, and I'm able to kill off that many more. So, or it might have been the other way around. I don't remember. But between the two, the organ gun and the rifles, I'm able to pretty much make that unit less than half of what it was. And they do pass their leadership 8 panic check, and they don't go anywhere. There's just a view of my iron drakes. They move up 3 inches and fire and eliminate a chariot, so that's kind of nice. Iron drake, strength 5 shooting is pretty wicked, and that you can move and fire is also nice. So it's looking good on the right hand side already. So Orc and Goblin turn. First off, this unit that got blasted fails animosity, and they have to declare charge or can't do anything, so they can't do anything. Other than that, no animosity problems across the Orcs and Goblins side. That's one of the dangers of having that Night Goblin unit in front of the Savages, though, is that they could fail in animosity and kind of stick to Savages. The Mangler Squig moves out to the right there, just kind of heading towards the hammers, basically. Not a lot of dangers to it, actually, to get shot by anything. You see the Goblin Wolf Riders move aggressively up on the far right to kind of threaten the gyrocopter and war machines. Everybody else moves up as much as they can, keeping a nice battle line there, other than the guys who failed their animosity. They're just kind of hanging out there. Over on the left hand side, the chariot tries to correct its mistake and threaten off to the left. The gyrocopter is not a big danger to war machines. The flame template can only do 1 wound. If it charges in, they'll both be tied up. Magic phase, it's this many dice to this many, and so the first thing that the Orcs and Goblins do is that they decided to do a hand. Thought about the big hand on the big unit, so throws this small unit over here by the gyrocopter. Pretty sure that this is the way you do it, since since they land there, they or they teleport to right there. The fanatics pop out. One that fires straight ahead goes through the gyrocopter, and the other one doesn't kill it, so the other one fires through the other way and then hits the woods. And then hitting the woods, that one is destroyed. So get rid of the gyro kind of Orc and Goblin way. Just throw a unit that can't do anything, that has 2 fanatics in it, and get rid of it. So now the war machines are much safer. The resulting miscast puts a strength 6 hit on the shaman, and he fails his ward save. So that's it for the magic phase, because the rest of the magic dice are lost. So shooting phase starts off with 2 slipshod rolls on the spear chuckas. The first spear chucka can't fire this turn or the next, and the other one just can't fire this turn. And then the Doom Divers start firing into the Iron Drakes, and the first Doom Diver, I believe, hits. I think the first one killed 3, and the other one drifted off too far to recover, so wasn't able to get back on target. So over here, Dwarf, looks like Dwarf turn 1 or 2. Gyro flies to give these guys a spray. The hammers move up. They're trying to get far enough so that Mango Squid can't get into them. Other than that, not a whole lot of moving. Just moving them hammers to kind of confront the center, maybe. Back the Iron Drakes up just a couple inches. They're gonna fire at the Mango Squid, and that is, I don't know what that is. All the shooting I put into something. Here's the flame template. Hits all those guys. Oh, that was the shooting I did with my rifles. And then there's the flame template. Fire the organ gun, I believe, at this, and I'm only able to put a wound on it. That's pretty weak. Fire my Iron Drakes into that, and I'm only able to get 2 wounds on it. And that's kind of weak. It is hard to hit those things with the -1. And there's a shot of the Mango Squid. Needs a ways to go to get there, though. And Cannonball goes for a Doom Diver, and I hit it, but I'm only able to put 1 wound on it, so that's kind of disappointing. And the Gyro at least does something, kills 2 of these guys. He actually hit 4, but they made 2 6-up armor saves, and caused him to panic. And so Orc turn 2, another animosity failure for these guys. Mango Squid makes it through the Iron Drakes. That's kind of unfortunate. That's pretty far, had a far ways to go, and was able to kill some Iron Drakes, but not a whole ton, but did a few. And then this one makes it, and all it needs to do is clip, and it's able to get into the hammers. So it goes through the hammers, and he does quite a bit more damage, kills 8 of them. So, need every hammer, every dwarf I have. So that's 2 quick reductions in units. These guys continue fleeing, flee through the other side of the building. And you can see the black orcs are moving up, and everybody's moving up. They move up to within 8 of the hammers and launch their fanatics, and then neither one of them make it, so they just kind of wheel a little bit and start going to the left, and the savages push up behind as close as they can. And the chariot tries to use some cover here, leaving a charge angle to the Iron Drakes, but trying to get some cover from the other war machines. Magic phase, not too bad, decent size. So here, throwing these dice, trying to throw them on the black orcs and move them around the flank, and I scroll it, and I'm able to eat the movement spell. So that is huge, because those black orcs could have been on the side. So Dwarf turn 3. Get joined by my pal Denali. He was offended when I was talking bad about the Wolf Riders being cowardly, so he took that personally. I'm gonna get heated up here. I'm too far away to do anything good with the gyro, so it flies over the top and drops a bomb. But I only get 4 hits with the bomb, and I'm able to do 2 wounds to it. But that's not enough to kill it. The hammer is kind of wheeled to the left to face the Black Orc threat. And here's the Night Goblins. I decide to go ahead and let them have it. Gonna just fire my rifles, and I'm gonna fire flame cannon into them. And this is my dice rolls for I believe my rifles. I took pictures of a lot of pictures of it, things that I don't remember what they were now. I believe I was re-rolling misses. So yeah, that's quite a bit of damage I'm able to put into them. That may be with the organ gun and the flame cannon. They passed on a leadership check of 7, so they're good there. They had to take a panic check from the flame cannon first, because that just caused a panic check, and they weren't below 25%, so they'd take another one. They were able to pass. I'm only able to put 1 wound on the chariot with my Iron Drakes because of I believe the cover modifier of that well. So still, now at least if I stand and shoot, I'll be able to take him out. So that's just a showing of the Iron Drakes firing. But 1 wound got through, so that's alright. And then my flame cannon, I didn't fire the flame cannon at the Night Goblins yet because I saved my flame cannon for the Black Orcs. What's nice about the flame cannon is you pump it up on the other side of your troops, then you fire it. But I rolled kind of poorly. I think I rolled a 2, and so I was able to get into the Black Orcs. Got to whittle them down a little bit, or they will take care of the hammers through attrition, if anything else. And I got to try to get the ranks right. So I do some damage. I'm able to kill 6 Black Orcs, so that's not bad considering I rolled a 2 and I hit quite a few. You know, strength 5. It's not really nice. There's no characters in there or anything, but so then I got to take care of that Mangler-Squig, which is a huge threat. I mean, if it goes anywhere to the right, it could go all the way down my line. So I've got a cannonball. I roll a misfire for the first cannonball shot. Rune of Forging, thank goodness. So I'm able to re-roll and eliminate that Mangler-Squig. Whew, that was close. Without that Rune of Forging, I think I had several misfires on flame cannon and the regular cannon for my first roll. So that's pretty sweet. And what was over there? Looks like I fired my, I don't know what that is. Don't know what that's a picture of, sorry. So the Orc and Goblin turn. They're charging the Iron Drakes with beat up Wolf Chariot. And then they're going to have a couple other charges. The Black Orcs are going to be going for the hammers, which it's not very far actually to get to. So that's kind of important. You can see those Night Goblins have been just blasted apart. That big unit of 40s down to about 12 or 13 guys left. So they don't charge. They elect to just move up and get in the face of the Thunderers and let them savages get inside a stand and shoot range, which is kind of nice. If you not very many Night Goblins left. I'm able to shoot that down on its way in. Take off the last rune so I don't suffer the impact hits. My organ gun has killed that Mangler-Squig. That's what happened. So that was all rifle shots with the re-rolling misses that I did all that damage. So that's pretty powerful. There's the Fanatics. Those are they both went into, one went into the wall and one into the tower. So they died. This is the Orc turn here. The rallied Wolf Riders are coming up. Kind of both those units trying to threaten the Iron Drakes a little bit. and basically keep the Iron Drakes from turning into the more pivotal combat in the center. You can see them savages are still coming. They are hardly depleted at all. And over in the Hammer Black Orc battle, actually, have we rolled that? It doesn't look like we rolled it yet. So these are just pictures of the other movements. So post charges. So yeah, so that was all the movement. You can see there, the Night Goblins are pushed up real close, and the Savages right behind them. Magic phase, it's almost pretty even. The only really spells that the Orc really has that's dangerous is Foot. So all 5 dice go for Foot, and I'm unable to dispel it. So here's Foot, and it drifts over just a little bit, and it's able to squash some Thunders. My BSB makes a Lookout Sir though, so that's kind of nice, and so does my General, so neither one of those guys get squished. But he's able to kill 11 of my Thunders, so I was like kind of looking forward to the Savage Orc combat, especially if I could shoot it a little bit more. But now I'm losing some guys, and the more I lose, then so the Foot goes again, and it drifts off. But it hits 2 of the Thunders plus the Organ Gun. But it's strength 7 because there's more Orcs in combat than fling, and it's unable to wound it. So how about a 3rd one, and that's an actual hit, and that's gonna do some major freaking damage. Hits a lot of my Thunders. Again, my BSB makes his Lookout Sir, but oof, man. Strength 7 stomps so I don't have any save against that at all, and now I am really hurting here. So finally the Foot does go away though. Doomdiver tries to go after the cannon, and there's strength 5, but if you can get 6 or so. Actually, it didn't go after the cannon, it went after the flame cannon, and it drifted all the way back, and then corrected 6 and made it to the cannon, but didn't do any. Did 1 wound. The other one goes for the Iron Drakes and scores a hit, but fortunately, it didn't do very much damage. It only rolled a 1, and it killed the 1 guy. So, that could have been worse. So I still got my Iron Drakes. They're still viable as a unit. Now, that close combat here, so 6, actually the Black Orcs rolled very poorly. They had 15 attacks, and they were only able to kill 6, and they're strength 5 on the charge, or the first round of combat. And the Hammers are able to wail on them with 2 attacks each, but and the re-rolling misses because I have hatred, so I lay into them. But the Black Orcs pass on a 5. So, boo. It would have been nice to be able to reform. Dwarf turn, the gyrocopter flies up to start spraying the savages, and it also is within 8 of the Night Goblins, so they have to release their fanatics, and they just launch them into the building since they die on the wall anyway. So here comes the gyro. It's we got to do some damage to these savages, or they'll just go right through the center, and that'll be the end of the game. The Iron Drake's swift reform to the left. Gonna pump as many shots, even if there's just 6, plus a few other things. So flame cannon here, again, like I was saying, targets the savages, and it's able to drop that template and score a sweet shot. So fires it in there. Hits a whole bunch, and it's strength 5, so it's wounding on 3s, but those are the ward saves, so jeez. So I was able to kill 5, but look at all the ward saves on a 5-up. So that Lucky Shrunken Head is paying for itself already, that round of combat. And then my rifles, I believe, no, my rifles have to shoot the Night Goblin. So that'd be I think the Organ Gun, or maybe the template from the gyro. They will kill a few more. Here I fail my buff at the beginning of the shooting phase. I was going to buff the Organ Gun to be able to reroll misses, or whatever it does, or reroll artillery die. But there's my organ gun anyway. It's even without the buff. I'm able to kill off some more savages. But all in all, I didn't kill, I think that's a total. So I didn't kill tons. And then my rifles go ahead and fire into the night goblins, and I'm able to kill off 5. So I wasn't going to even shoot them. I'm just going to let them be in the way. But I figured there's no way that the savages can get in unless I did some crazy shooting. So you still got 28 savages there. So I was able to kill off 12 with the flame cannon, the gyrocopter, and the organ gun. So it's great, but it may be a little too late. Over here, the Black Orcs don't do much again. I only killed 2 hammers. So the 4 remaining hammers are able to kill off 4 orcs. Both of our rerolls are gone, and his strength is gone. So yay. But the Black Orcs hold on a 5. So they don't go anywhere. And hammers are losing this war now, as it always strikes last and they don't have enough bodies. So here the orcs go crazy, start declaring charges all over. Don't think that the savages can get in there, but gonna give it a shot. See if the night goblins can wheel far enough to get the savages just in contact. That way, you know, they can't get shot, even if they're only clipping. So this night goblin unit charges the gyro, and the gyrocopter elects to flee. Because my concern is that if the savages charge and get out of the way, or even fail charge and get out of the way, they'd be able to contact the gyro and then end up overrunning and getting to the flame cannon or some other thing. So I go ahead and flee, and he redirects, aiming for the hammers, because when these other 2 units move out of the way, there's actually a clear path that'd be able to make it there. So over here, the night goblins and the wolf riders make decent charges to get into the iron drake, so they have the flank. They'll have a few more attacks, but we'll see how that goes. Magic phase again, it's kind of close, so the orcs don't really have a whole lot to do, so they throw another foot. Not a whole lot of targets, but try to get rid of that evil flame cannon. It drifts a little bit, but still is able to hit the base. But it only does no wounds. Roll a 1. So, yay! So no wounds to the flame cannon. Orcs get up you got the Fist of Gork, so +3 strength, +3 attacks for the Savage Orc Shaman, so I'm going to stay away from him. Doom Diver comes in and hits the gyrocopter and is able to actually do 2 wounds to it. So Strength 5 versus Toughness 5, still able to put 2 wounds on there. So in the close combat phase, the Black Orcs finish off the hammers. Actually, one hammer was left, the banner, and he fled. So the orcs pursued, even though he dies right away, but they rolled a 3. They could have overran into the, I believe they could have overran over the gyrocopter and automatically killed it, and then made it into the flame cannon. They probably could finish that off, but they still pursued even though that thing died. But whatever, they didn't make it anywhere. They rolled really bad. So over here, the goblins are pathetic, and they don't do anything to the iron drakes. They're 4 up armor save and 6 up ward, able to kill 1 night goblin. So they had the charge in the flank, but the iron drakes have a banner and a musician if it was a draw, and they're able to win and reform. If they won, the goblins didn't break. So the night goblins had charged in there, the last remainder, and the rifles were able to finish them off. So now it's going to be the dwarf turn. Actually, the dwarves win the combat, so they reform and they're bracing for impact. The good news is you're going to get 1 more turn of shooting on those savages before they're able to get the dwarves. So that's kind of the bad part about being stuck behind them night goblins. the Thunders, they kill him to the last man. So here the copter rallies, but it can't do much, so it just faces there. Magic phase, I remove the remains in place spell on the shaman, so that's gone. So now I've got a round of shooting here. Fire a flame cannon, just straight up, and I roll I think a 2. So I'm still able to put some flame template onto the savages. Fails to look out Sir for the BSB. So the kind of flame template slid over a little bit. I'm able to put a wound on the BSB. Out of D3 wounds, I only did 1, so he's still up. Kill off only 5 of the savages, making some 5-up wards. Go ahead and decide to just fire the cannon in there as well. I mean, I'm desperate. I need to do as much damage as I possibly can. And kill 2 of the cannonballs. And then I put my buff, since I'm still 3 inches away from the organ gun, I put my buff on the organ gun, which is fortunate because I do roll a misfire. But then again, I roll another misfire. So I'm only able to kill a few with the organ gun. Combat over here is pretty lame. Flub a bunch of my attacks, only killed 1. But I got a banner, and I'm able to get the wolves to run, but the goblins stay for another round. So, orcs phase. Here comes the orcs. So, savages into the thunders. The black orcs go into the chopper. The wolves come into the back of the flame cannon. So this is it here. There's the combat. So I've got my. There's no challenges. Now let's get to that in a minute. So magic phase. Got a lot of dice, but not a lot of spells that the orcs can cast. So it goes for a small foot on the cannon. And it scores a hit, or at least enough to hit it, and is able to kill it. So the multi wounds, it's kind of nice. Had a wound off it already from a doom diver, so that made a difference. And there's just those wolves that didn't rally, so they're still fleeing. So the combats, the copter combat goes first, and I'm actually able to kill a black orc. 2 attacks. I have hatred, so I'm able to reroll misses, and they do, with great weapons, do no wounds to me. I only have 1 wound left from before, so no wounds to me. And then I'm able to kill off one of the wolves, and I hold. So the hatred helps me this round, even with my war machine. So that held. And then over here, they kill off 3 thunders and my general, and then I kill 5 savages. So I actually almost win that combat, and but I don't. And the savages remain frenzied by like 1. I think that we're equal ranks by 1 model for the savages. My general got mauled. He's only toughness 4. That sucked. And but my Thane took a bunch of hits, and he's not really tooled up, but he's got a 3-up armor save, and then he gets a 5-up shield parry this round, so he's able to ward off the blows and stay alive. So it's huge. So I'm still stubborn. So savages win though. So they remain frenzy, and they reform like that. The savage orc shaman still staying out of contact. I'm able to drive off the night goblins, and I reform. I didn't go after them. I reform to try to help out the other combat. So this is turn 6 now. So the dwarves turn 6. I'm happy I held in the middle, but I need to get them some help. So I decided to charge my iron drakes towards the flank. Iron drakes are strength 5 on the charge. So it'll be 5 attacks at strength 5. I go the same time as the savages, or is finally, finding an enemy that has just as bad initiative. So the Iron Drakes make that charge, and they're in the flank, so that's good. This round I issue a challenge with my BSB, trying to just keep him from getting killed by the attacks. I have an organ gun shooting, and I roll a misfire, and I think a 6, and I'm able to only kill 4 of the remaining 5, so one's going to get away. Yeah, there's a misfire. So could have finished them off, but one's going to get away. So the combat here kills off with the 3 guys. He still has 6 attacks on the flank. He's able to kill off some Iron Drakes, and I'm able to kill off his Shaman General. A nice pickup of points because I only had two guys touching him. I was able to reroll misses, and I was able to get those 2 wounds so he didn't make either of the 2 5-up wards. So the general's down, and my Thane issued a challenge to try to keep some wounds off him, and the unit champion accepted that, and my Thane was able to drop him real quick, so I was still alive there. Here the Night Goblins charge in to help out with some combat resolution, and try to kill off this gyrocopter and then get into the flame cannon. And then the Wolf Riders who've been fleeing, they keep fleeing, but they don't go off the board. So they're gonna hold their points. I'm not gonna score those 50 points. That's not really a big deal, but you know, this last turn of the game, scoring a few points is always it can always be a big deal. So really the main combat comes down to I think these are 2 wound rolls by the savages. Again, I keep taking all these pictures of these dice. At the time it seemed important, but I don't remember what they were for. Must be 2 wound rolls. And then this is all the Savage Orc attacks and on the rifles, and you can see that they're needing they need 4s to hit. We both have weapon skill 4, and it only gets 4 hits through. So that is pretty huge. And this round, the Orcs' turn, my Thane issued a challenge, and the Black Orc BSB accepted. So my BSB is in fighting his BSB. I'm able to kill him off with my initiative 3. We strike at the same time, and he's using 2 hand weapons, and I'm able to kill him, get that last wound on him, and he doesn't get any wounds on me, so that's nice. And after the flood orc attacks, my units are victorious. His general's down, his BSB's down, he fails his break check and flees, and I pursue him with both units, and I'm able to catch the savages and score all those points. So, woo, that was close. I'm down to 4 riflemen left. Here he makes quick work of the gyrocopter. I think he killed it outright with a Night Goblin. The Night Goblins hate dwarves, so he's able to re-roll misses, and out of his 2 attacks he got 1 through. So failed my armor save, and or it could have been a great weapon because they finally scored, and he overruns into that combat, and he hasn't rolled that yet, so he's able to get in on it. And so he chooses the Night Goblins to assault, and they're able to kill 2, and but only 2 with a 6-man assault party rules. And I have 1 guy left, and all the war machines are stubborn, so it doesn't kill that. So that's pretty much the game overview. Looking at it right there, able to score the Night Goblin unit, the Savage Orc unit. We both killed each other's general. I got his BSB. I didn't score the 2 small units of Night Goblins, but when you total up the whole points, it was like 1427 to 880. So the Dwarves win by 547. It's not a crushing victory, but with this battle, it was so close to being a loss there. I thought once the Savages got in that would be it. I'm gonna do a few changes with my list. I'm gonna still keep trying the gun line like this. I don't know about the special character. It can be very handy, but it's kind of pricey. So I'll play around with it some more. But a victory for the dwarves. It's kind of a practice battle here, more than anything. So I'll try to get a few more reports up, a little more competitive. I'm getting ready to start a campaign with Dwarves vs. Skaven for like a ladder campaign. Should be pretty exciting. That should be up pretty soon. Thanks for watching.